Hi, Sagittarius. It's Angela. We're here to do October reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And like I always like to say, I know I say it every time, whatever vibration brought you here, whether you have Sag placed in your chart or whether or not this is actually October when you're listening to it, the timing of your coming upon this video, your intuition guided you here, regardless of those other details. And when I'm pulling the cards before we turn the camera on and preparing for the reading, I draw in the energy of Sagittarius. And I'm drawing these cards, at the start of October. So that's the timing there. But if you're here and say it's June right now and you're listening to this video, the message is for you as well. Okay. Thank you for being here. I'd like you to keep coming back if you can, and shoot me some comments and do the likes and all that stuff on the channel to help keep the channel going. Growing, I should say, because it will always go, I think, as long as I'm willing to be here. And what we typically do, this is a soul guidance reading. So this is for your inner being, the guidance for your inner being and how to proceed and how to evolve from that perspective. Less about external occurrences or predictions or what you're actively doing in this moment, or, what your actual, plans and actions are right now. That's not what we're talking about. It's more of an inner vibration that we're focusing on. And for this reading, we're going to pull one oracle from the soul's journey. This is sort of your higher self coming on board here, as it usually is. And the guidance that we pulled for you, Sag, is patience. I love this one. I have twin daughters and they're Sagittarius. And yeah, patience is something that we can begin to really develop and learn, right? And hope my girls are 17, so they're really fully discovering who they are. And I do see signs of impatience come up now and then, as we all do as human beings. And this card says, I accept that everything happens in divine order. I love that. So nice. Yeah, there's a more trusting quality that comes when we can pull back from this push, I got to make it happen, it has to happen now kind of a thing. Yeah, we have feelings that rise up that make us feel like something's urgent, and in some cases things are urgent, but for the most part we can always pause and take a breath before taking action or before making decisions that finds us, more aligned with our inner being, so that we can proceed from an aligned place, right? And that usually creates a smoother path, and definitely a more enlightened one. Okay, so let's get down to the Zen spread here. We're going to look and see what the guidance is as it pertains to the art of patience, allowing the divine order of things to play out instead of us having to really assert ourselves too heavily onto situations. Okay, we have this spread is a spread that I made up. This is called the tree, and there's two sets of branches in the trunk, right? We start here on this middle set of branches, and then we move from the trunk to a higher level of awareness, to our growth, right? The trunk is where it's rooted, and it allows for the growth to shoot up. And that's what we're doing with our soul as well in this spread. Your starting point, Sag, as it pertains to patience, is the source. I mean, that's it. It's the same vibe right there. I accept that everything happens in divine order. And at the core of you, you know this, right? It's the ego and the human part of you and your persona that comes forth and says, no, it has to, I have to push it through. It has to happen now. And why aren't all the pieces falling into place? And I have to force it. right? That's your persona talking. The source of who you are and your soul and your inner being really already know that if the source of you is allowed to guide your human side through navigate, if your soul is allowed to guide your persona through life, it's a much smoother road. I'm not saying it's completely resistant free or problem free, but that's a really great starting point. It's a great reminder that deep within you, at the core of who you are, you always know how to proceed, and you always know that things don't always show up in the timing you want them to, and they don't always make progress in the timing that you want them to, but they are manifesting and they are making progress in divine timing. So that's a really great starting point, because it's just another reminder that as much as we think as human beings we have all the control over everything that happens, we really have none. And we align with the divine in order to tap into that stream, that flow of energy that keeps us growing and evolving. Internally and deep within you, if the core of who you are and the depth of who you are is actually your starting point, then even within that, and side by side, hand in hand with that vibration, is this card, and that's morality. And look at that. So this is that sort of angel devil, one on each shoulder, kind of going, yeah, I can follow my gut, I can follow my soul, because it never fails me. And then your mind checks in and says, oh, no. There's a right way and a wrong way, and you must proceed, and you must go forward, and you must go fast, right? Well, internally within you, you know which one is the easier road, right? And even though you have the tendency to want to assert some of your mental knowledge onto things, like, I know if I just push it a little harder, I can make it happen. Because the guidance here is about patience, it's really not going to apply here. You're really going to have to sort of defer to the soul, to your core, if you want it to be the easiest path forward possible. Okay. So within you have a sense of that you tend to switch to the mental push, and this is how it has to be, and this is the right way, and this is a good way. But your core and your soul know better. Okay. Externally, the battle between the mind and the soul results in awareness. So yeah, there's a clarity that comes either way, right? If you kind of submit to what's going on in your mind, that you're pressuring yourself to push forward through this sort of impatient feeling, if you choose this route, you'll end up with some clarity for sure. Sometimes choosing this route will work. It won't every time. And so sometimes you'll see, oh, I really pushed through that and I skipped a few steps and now I have to start over. And that's the clarity that you get from having been impatient, right? If you choose to follow your soul and the source of who you are, the clarity comes that, oh yeah, even though it didn't feel the best, every step of the way, the outcome still felt better because I went into it fully aligned. Okay. So yeah, I love that. But either way, it manifests in clarity for you, and a greater sense of awareness as to your path forward. Okay, now we have this card here at the trunk, and this is going to be the key to getting your higher self on board here, and opening up some new awarenesses. And we got inner voice. So I love this. This is your intuition. This is calling on your intuition, at the same time calling on the divine to sort of channel in energies that are needed at this time. If you see this figure, there's a another face on top of the main figure in the third eye. So that is in the space of intuition. And that figure has the crown chakra wide open and sort of receiving the energies from the divine, from source, from the universe, from wherever. But that is the key to moving forward. So there's no accident that this card is aligned with the source card, because those are one and the same, right? This is internal. This is inside your inner being, kind of going, well, maybe if I do it this way, it's better. And maybe if I do it that way, it's worse, but let me just get through it because I'm impatient, right? That's kind of a sideshow to this truth that is, the real guidance there moving you forward. So that's the key there, is listen to your internal being, and listen for the signs that come through from the universe. Doing that helps you land in a point of success. That's your next level, is like, yeah, I got that. This doesn't always mean that the initial thing that you wanted to clear up and you were being impatient about, it doesn't mean success on that sort of actionable item, but it's more of an internal success. Like, yeah, I followed my gut. I followed the core of who I am. That led me to, first of all, a better state of clarity on the whole thing. And then also just it helps me to feel that this can be trusted, right? I feel the success of that alignment. I love that, because now you're on a higher perspective. Now you get that next time you may or may not, defer to the mental checklists of right and wrong and good and bad. You might just go, yeah, this doesn't feel right. My vibration says do this. I'm impatient, but my vibration says pause and feel it out and make a decision based on my intuition. Then you get, I feel that this is the more efficient way, right? Okay, then we have the inner vibration that supports this feeling of success and achievement, and that is the understanding card. So I like this because it's right above that morality card. It's kind of like where there may be conflict or, duality of good and bad, right and wrong, easy and hard, whatever, these black and white kind of decisions are, which isn't really how life runs, right? We have so many nuances and so many, there's maybe a 1 and a 2, but there's also a 1.A and a 1, right? There's also other levels of understanding besides just the good and bad and the right and wrong. And that's where this comes in. This is a higher level of understanding that and really realizing, yeah, maybe I was impatient and I wanted to make a move, but staying in my alignment helped to make me feel closer to that achievement. Staying in my alignment, this is kind of the vibration of this dove feels separated from the others. Like maybe this is your aspirations and your achievement, like how you feel you want to go toward it and then actually succeeding, right? Whatever this is that you're feeling impatient about. Well, the barriers and the bars that are separating the two, this could also be your inner being and your outer being, your persona. There is nothing really separating it. It is all of one. And to get that higher perspective and that higher level of understanding around this, because this morality card has more of the vibration of the separateness, right? It's one or the other, right? Which isn't really how life goes. And so we get to now, as we align with our inner being and listen for those messages that are coming through, we get to realize, oh yeah, this is kind of just a false concept. There is no right and wrong way to do anything, whether it's by whatever speed we're moving through or what decisions we make along the way. This idea of there being one or the other and they're separate is just false, right? There is no right and wrong way to proceed. There is only the way that feels best for you. And in a sense, that is the right way, right? That's your right way, but that may not look the same for everyone. And then we want to avoid creating that judgment about it, even if it's, within us, even if it's something we're just thinking about, we want to avoid that judgment, because everyone has their own inner alignment. Everyone has their connection to source and will make decisions based on that. And those decisions will look different for everyone. So I like this. I like that the perceived barriers are really an illusion, and coming to a higher level of understanding about yourself, about your inner being, about what impatience might, mean to you, like what good does it do to jump into this impatient feeling? Does it really get things done faster, or does it just agitate your spirit so that it's even less clear how to make a decision, how to proceed? That clarity kind of gets dimmed if we're trying to rush through things. So this is nice. Following and trusting our inner being, that's the key. And then the final card and the outcome here, this is kind of how it all manifests in your day-to-day world, is beyond illusion. So I love this in so many levels. This is kind of saying, yeah, that initial jolt of impatience that I got and thought, got to get this done. This has to happen. Why isn't this manifesting faster? Whatever it is, whatever your goal is. The blocks that were in front of you were an illusion. They were there in the perfect divine timing, as sort of, you could think of them as blocks, but you could also think of them as stepping stones, right? Oh, this obstacle came in my way for me to pause and feel it out and say, oh, which way feels better? Does it feel better to push through this barrier, or to wait it out until it dissolves, or to go around it and redirect? Those obstacles that come in our way as we're moving toward a goal are for our growth and for our learning and our better understanding of how to proceed through things. So they're not stopping you. That's an illusion. They're there to help enhance and really to help your transformation. If you see this as sort of a metamorphosis illustration, the butterfly, the transformation that happens, it came out of something totally different, right? Like the butterfly comes from the caterpillar, from the cocoon, the chrysalis, and it became that. It became like the most beautiful outcome. This is also a card that's highlighting the intuition and the third eye. So this is learning to trust that those things that get thrown in our way are they're not really there to stop us. That it may agitate us and make us feel impatient, but they're there for us to absorb and reflect a little bit on our way to our goal, and find maybe there's another way. Maybe there's a shortcut from here that I wouldn't have seen if I stuck, with my impatient way forward. So I really like that. That's a beautiful way to end it, is that really things aren't always what they seem. And if you move with the energy that's provided and stay in alignment, at a soul level, you may be surprised as to how things turn out. Okay, so I am going to pull as a little, the little, I was going to say happy ending, but I don't know if I want to say that. As a little surprise here for you, I'm going to pull one more card, and just as a little guidance. This deck is called Notes from the Universe, kind of like little love notes from the universe. And what does the universe want you to know right now, Sag? Let's just see. Okay. Oops. All right. I'm going to cut these. And look what I got. Oh boy, this is awesome. After all that and talking about impatience and how let's just find another way through this, let's not push through, let's stay with our alignment. I got keep it simple. Yeah. I mean, that it's really, of all these cards that you had, there was one mental card, and that was the morality card. And so, most of this is vibration and moving through with your intuition and what your soul knows. And yeah, even in moments when we want results and they're not coming, simplify it by reverting to what your soul feels. What are you feeling as it pertains to this journey? Usually if you follow that, it's the simplest way. It's not always easy, though. I'm not going to say simple and easy are different to me. It's not always easy to just shut down your mind and shut down the activity and the need to proceed, and just go with the flow. That's not always easy to achieve. But with practice, it does become easier, and it is the simple way through. There's a lot more flow and a lot less drama that way. Okay. All right, Sag. It was good to sit with you guys, and I hope this reading helped. Give me some comments and let me know what you thought. And happy October. Until next time.